Good evening, everyone. Today's session is on lemmatization in natural language processing. So, as we have covered the stemming part, what are the advantages? Let us see how we compare the lemmatization and stemming, how they are different from each other, right? And how we use those techniques in different application. What are the applications of lemmatization and stemming? And how they both are used in bag of words, like they are used in an algorithm that is bag of words. So let's begin with the session. First of all, we need to understand what is lemmatization, which is a very important part in natural language processing, right? So basically, lemmatization is one of the common text pre-processing techniques used in natural language processing. So whenever we are like searching anything on, we are searching a text, a string on Google, we might be using any you may be using like word that is in a continuous tense. It might be like it is going to remove all the affixes part, and then it is automatically converts the word into its base form, which has some meaning. So this is the main difference between the lemmatization and stemming, right? So let us understand this part also. If you have already read my post about stemming of words in NLP. So I have already given a session on this stemming part. So you know what is basically the difference between the stemming. So basically, when we have a stemming part, both in like stemming and lemmatization, we reduce to its base form, but its base form is meaningful or meaningless. So that is the difference. If the base form has meaning, that means we have processed that word with the help of lemmatization, right? And if we have if we have converted it to its base form, it does not have any meaning, it is meaningless, then it would be a stemmed word, or we have used the process that is stemming. So the root word is called a stem in the stemming process. The root word or the base word is called a lemma in lemmatization, right? So let us understand both the things. I have given the example like how we can have in a lemma, and in later slides we will be studying about how we have the words in stemming part also. Because when you are studying in natural language processing, both the algorithms, both the processes are very important, right? One should know the difference, one should know how the affixes are removed and how it converts into the base form. So stemming and lemmatization both are alternative processes to each other, as the role of both is to processes is same, removal of affixes. So both the processes are basically removing the affixes part, right? Like I'm going to show this part. Both the processes are meant for performing the removing the affixes part from your uh, main word, right? And how we are getting this word like healed is now becomes removing the affix part heal. It is again a word that has some meaning, it has some meaning, it has some meaning, right? And studies is converted into study, which is a meaningful word. It is not meant for like this, like in stemming process yesterday we have seen it reduces to study. It shows like this is not a meaningful word, right? This is what the difference between lemmatization and stemming, right? Let us see how it works. Both the difference, but the difference between both of them is that in lemmatization, the word we get after affix removal is a meaningful one, whereas when we have a stemming it is meaningless, right? Lemmatization makes sure that the lemma is a word with meaning, and hence it's take a longer procedure, longer time to execute than stemming. Obviously, I told you in the my previous session, when we are performing stemming, it does very fast. And without, like, it is not going to focus on whether the base form is a meaningful word or not. It just removes the affixes within few seconds and gives you the output, right? Whereas the lemmatization process checks whether your lemma, the output, is a meaningful word. That's why it takes much time to process that part, right? Like, I will be showing you the next example. So this is like, both are working efficiently, right? Both are working. You are getting, you are removing the affixes, because sometimes it may happen on Google search, or when you are searching or text mining type of thing, you may be searching for a particular base form only. Doesn't matter whether your keyword, but when you make a summary, summarization, or this kind of processes you are performing, you may be using any of the method. But if you are using the stemming process, it might not be accurate, right, at the end of the day. But in lemmatization, your summary would be, like, the accuracy part would be achieved in that case, right? So this is what the difference between, like, when we are removing the affixes from word, we get a lemma. And as you can see on my screen, all the words have a meaning. None of the word is having is meaningless, right? It reduces to its base form, right? But it reduces to a meaningful base form. In fact, yes, like, it is going to have some time for execution of this process. Now let us see the difference, and we will be talking about more on this in this particular area, like how we have a particular word that is caring, right? Caring. Now using lemmatization, it becomes to the base form, and the correct word for care is caring, care, right? Right. Now the same word is extracted using stemming, that is reduced to car. Car is a correct word, right? Does it make sense in case of caring? My base, my main word was caring. Now my I get the lemma, that is car. That's what I told you, when we do the summarization, or when we apply some that kind of thing, like, we want the summary, abstraction summary or extraction summary. So we might be using any of the technique. We might be using lemmatization, we might be using stemming. But in like, in real time, when we are accessing a summary of a document, we are able to understand, like, how the stemming is giving the word, how a word is stemmed, and how a lemmatization is doing and giving a lemma. So basically, yes, it is focusing, it is consuming time, right? Lemmatization is consuming time, but it is going to give you the accurate output. Whereas the advantage of stemming is, it gives you the base form which is meaningless, but within few seconds. So it both the techniques has its own advantages, right? So with this, we have normalized our text or two tokens, which are the simplest form of words present in the corpus. Now it is the time to convert the token into numbers. For that, like, this is not only like we have done with our process. So that's what I told you, ki we have a algorithm, that is bag of words, that basically talks about. After this, we have number of things also. So bag of words is a natural language processing model which helps in extracting features out of the text, which can be helpful in machine learning algorithms. In bag of words, we basically get the occurrences of a particular word, of each word, and construct a vocabulary for the corpus. So like, in why we are doing this thing, or stemming or lemmatization, right? We need to have some tokens, because our complete sentence would be coming in tokens, and then we are checking the number of occurrences, then we remove the stopped words, and then we take only calculate the TF-IDs, right? We calculate the TF-IDs. So this is how we have our lemmatization and stemming in, like it is not the end when we get the output, right? Whatever the output is, whether it is through lemma or whether it is a stem word, right? The next process is, now we have the tokens, now we have to process those tokens, right? Now let us see the more detail about lemmatization especially. So lemmatization algorithm would know that the word better is derived from the word good, and hence the lemma is good. But a stemming algorithm won't be able to do the same, because both the meanings, like better word is derived from where? From good. It is not only about the affixes. It understands. It has this process is time consuming, but it is going to give you the accurate result as well. There could be a word stemming or understemming, and the word better could be reduced to either bet or bet, right? Or just retained as better. So it is just removing the affixes. Whether your stem word is meaningful or not, it doesn't matter, right? Whereas in your lemmatization, it is going to reduce it and check out also that from where this word is derived from, what is the base form of this word, right? So this is the very very important point when we are not talking in terms of affixes, right? Like in lemmatization, we are going into the detailed part, the derived word, right? Whereas in stemming, you may just reduce it to its base form, remove the affixes part. And it comes to bet is never related to a better kind of word, or b double t is not any word like we have in our in case of only name, right? But there is no way in stemming that it could be reduced to its root word good, right? So in any sense, because it does not have that type of capability, it is just giving you the output in few seconds. It does not have like this word can be reduced to good. The better word can be, after removing the affixes, it is going to have to the its base form, that is good, right? So this is the basic difference, this is the actual difference between the stemming and lemmatization, right? So what is the difference? Apart from removing the affixes, apart from meaningful and meaningless, the word is checked for its derivation, from where this word is derived. That's why it is a time consuming process, but it is going to give you the accurate output, right? So hope you have understood the basic difference, the the main difference between the lemmatization and the stemming. Next, we have, let us see in detail and let us see the disadvantages of both the disadvantages of stemming, right? And how lemmatization is advantageous or better than stemming algorithms. So stemming algorithms work by cutting off the end or beginning of the word, right? So it is just cutting or removing the affixes, taking into account a list of common prefixes and suffixes that can be found in an inflected word, right? This discriminate cutting can be successful in some occasions, but not always, right? So it is like removing the affixes from the sentence, it does not work every time, right? It, yes, it is a fast process, but it does not work every time when you have to work for a very very confidential type of document, and you are taking out the summary out of it using NLP, using document summarization. So here, if you are using stemming, it might be giving you a inaccurate results, right? So, but not always, and that is why we affirm that this approach presents some limitations. So this is the disadvantage, or you may say this technique has some limitations. Below we have illustrated the method with examples in both English and Spanish. So we have taken the number of examples and how it has converted. So let us see. Studies is basically reduced. The base form of study is not STUDI, right? And studying is reduced to study. In fact, both the base words of both these words of both the base form is this, both the words have the same base form, but stemming process is not able to extract its base form. Only the method is doing what it is doing. It is removing the affixes, it is doing the suffixes part. So this is the main disadvantage that is related to stemming. Whereas when we have lemmatization, in lemmatization, on the other hand, takes into consideration the morphological analysis of words. So where what is the base form of this word, right? That is stored, that is extracted. To do so, it is necessary to have a detailed dictionaries which the algorithm can look through to link the form back to its lemma. So it is not like that ki it is going to just remove the suffix part and gives you the output, whether your output is a relevant output or meaningful output or not, right? It is just giving you the output. So again, you can see how it works. Let us say take the same word, same examples with lemmatization, and we check out the morphological information related to studies, right? So our base form, our main word was studies. Same word we have taken the studies and studying. So your lemma would be study in that case, right? And this is the base form. So it comes to its base form, which is very, very logical and very, very meaningful. Like it does not say the derive, it is derived from this word, this study, studies, yeah, studying, yeah. It you may say any other word that is related to study. It it is not going to only remove the suffixes. It searches for its base form. It searches for its derived form, from where this particular word is derived from, right? Whether it is studies or whether it is studying. So let us see some of the advantages and disadvantages of lemmatization. As you could probably tell us now, like the obvious advantage of lemmatization, it is more accurate. So this is the very, very accurate, very, very advantageous method, because it gives you the result which are very, very accurate, because they are not just removing the suffixes, they are basically going into the base form of that particular word, the derived word, basically from where that particular word is derived from. So, if you are dealing with an NLP application such as a chatbot or a virtual assistant where understanding of the meaning of the dialogue is crucial, so lemmatization would be useful rather than stemming, because this accuracy comes at a cost, right? So, this is the advantage, and you may say the application where you are applying the lemmatization process, that is in digital assistant, or you may say virtual assistant. Because lemmatization involves deriving the meaning of a word from something like a dictionary, it's very time consuming. So we need to understand why it is time consuming, because it searches the actual word from a dictionary. Basically, behind the process we have the linkage process, which is linked to the dictionary. So most lemmatization algorithms are slower than as compared to their stemming. So yesterday we have covered the topic stemmings, and we have seen the different stemmer functions like Potter stemmer or a regress stemmer or Lancaster stemmer or snowball stemmer. So we have used number of stemmers, and we have checked out like how it derives the base form, right? So some of the algorithms, some of the types were giving the accurate output, and some of the words are giving only its like meaningless words. So there is also a competition overhead for lemmatization. However, in a ML program, in an NN problem, computation resources are rarely a cause of concern, because in ML we want accuracy, right? In fact, yes, this method is taking time, but it is going to provide you the accurate result. So sometimes we need such kind of algorithm which is going to take time, because whenever a process is lengthy, right? So in fact, like if it is in like nothing is logical behind that, that would be a different task. But if it is logical, and like you it the word is searched from the dictionary and then it is fetches the derived word, so it would have, it is making a sense and it would be giving you the accurate output rather than just removing the suffixes like in process of stemmers, right? So let us check out the different applications where lemmatization is used. So one of the application is information retrieval environments. It is useful to use stemming and lemmatization to map documents to common topics and display search results by indexing when documents are increasing to mind-blowing blogging numbers. Query expansion is another term, or you may say is a term used in such environments, which refer to that when a user inputs a query. So like suppose I am searching any word in Google, right? So how it searches, it just take the forms. You may like you might be observing this thing, it converts into tokens afterwards, right? And then it searches for its like complete meaning, and then it combines the result and gives you the output. Like the top 10 results are very very accurate, very very close to your given input. So it is like in Google search, it is giving you the accurate outputs as well, right? So here we have it is used to expand or enhance the query to match additional documents, right? So it is one of the, you may say it is one of the advantage, it is one of the application where we can use the stemming or lemmatization methods. In case like we are using the lemmatization, so it would be searching not only the word, it is not only removing the suffixes, it is also searching for the derived word. It gives you the result, it learns and it understands each and every keyword rather than giving you only the uh, like just taking as a keywords. It is not makes a summary out of it, or it does not understand like this. It is going to have a complete understanding using lemmatization, moving into the detail using dictionaries, and then it is going to provide you the result. So how is it possible? Using lemmatization. Let's see other applications of stemming and lemmatization. So in tagging system we usually have lemmatization and stemming, indexing, SEOs, web search results. The very very popular application of stemming and lemmatization is you when you search anything on the website, it is divided into tokens, and sometimes like the suffixes are removed and it retrieve the information from the database, right? So how is it possible? It is with the help of stemmers, or maybe sometimes maybe we are going to use lemmatization algorithms. Lemmatization algorithms are widely used when you have the accuracy part, right? Like if the model is not going to provide you the accuracy, we need to train the model. Like if we are talking about chatbots, or if we are talking about anything like which is interacting with the user and communicating with the user, and it is not going to understand that particular statement, then we might be using stemming part. But if the machine is learning based machine, then obviously it has to be have to understand the meaning of the complete sentence. If it is not going to understand the complete sentence, it is not going to provide the accurate results. But if it works on only keywords, right, like it removes the suffixes and based on the keyword it searches from the dictionary, not from the dictionary, from the database. It even not have, like I have shown you in one example, it even not understood the base form of this. Like caring is meant for care, but through stemming it reduces to car. So car is related to caring? No. So obviously it is an inaccurate result that is provided by stemming algorithm, that is provided by stemmer types of stemmers. So in lemmatization, Let us see number of advantages and disadvantages. In lemmatization, it gives you the form, a base form of the word that is meaningful, right? Or and it is more accurate. Why? It is more accurate because the word is searched from the dictionary. Next thing, what is the disadvantage of lemmatization? Yes, by searching from the for providing the accurate result, it is going to give you, it is going to consume more time in searching part. So computation overhead would be a part of this, would be a disadvantage, or you may say it would be a cons of this lemmatization. Whereas when we have the stemming, so stemming is not using any dictionary. It just reduces the suffixes. No, nothing like a derived form, right? Because it does not matches the word with its derived from. So this is what, like, we have taken one example in which we have taken good is a form of better, or better is a form of a good. It is derived from good, right? So here in stemmer it is going to only remove the suffixes part. So stemmer is something else. When we have less amount of time and accuracy does not matter, we will be using stemmer types, right? And yes, it is fast, yet it is, you may say, give you output in within seconds. But the disadvantages of stemming would be inaccuracy, right? And the word is meaningless. It does not matter for the stemmers whether it is providing the accurate output or not, or the word is meaningless. The base form its word is coming in meaningful or meaningless, it does not matter, it comes in meaningless form. So this is again one of the disadvantage of stemming process. The advantage would be it is faster method, and when you are not checking upon the accuracy part, it is going to work like this, right? So stemmers, whenever we use stemmers, we have less amount of time, and when we have ample amount of time, we might be using lemmatization, right? So lemmatization is basically used when we have ample amount of time, when accuracy matters. It gives you the base form, the derived form of the word, even removing the suffixes. It is removing the suffixes and moving into the and coming down from the derived word which is mentioned in the dictionary. So it checks the dictionary. This process is also included in the lemmatization, which is very very important in case when we want the accuracy, right? So these are some examples, these are some applications where we are using stemming and lemmatization. Hope you have understood both the differences. Like I have shown you, the lemma word is good, which is basically derived. The word better is derived from what? From good. No one thinks upon, like, we are talking about suffixes and we are talking about affixes. There is no suffix and there is no affix in this case. So how it reduces, how these two words are related, how the lemma that is good is coming from the word that is better, right? So this could be the best example for having a difference between lemmatization and stemming. Whereas stemming, what is stemming would be giving? Bet, or B double T, bet, only removing the suffix, or even it can give better only. It does not moving into the derive from where this word is derived from. So this is the main difference between the lemmatization and stemming, and what is lemmatization in natural language processing, right? So hope you have understood the different applications of lemmatization and stemming. Hope you understood and hope you like the session. Thank you.